Ever wonder why some countries throw out their leaders with just one vote, while others are stuck with the same president for years no matter what? That's the wild power of parliamentary democracy, and it might not work the way you think. Today, we are breaking down parliamentary democracy, what it really is, how it works, and why it's one of the most common systems of government on earth. By the end of this video, you'll know not just the textbook definition, but also why parliaments can be lightning fast one day and completely chaotic the next. We'll look at real examples from the UK, India, Canada, and beyond. We'll also dig into the problems, because trust me, this system has some flaws. And here's the twist: even though parliamentary democracy sounds like the same idea everywhere, the way it plays out is wildly different depending on the country. Stick around, because this is the stuff your school civics class left out. So, what exactly is parliamentary democracy? Let's keep it simple. It's a system where people vote for representatives, those reps form a parliament, and from inside that parliament comes the government, usually led by a prime minister. Unlike in presidential systems, where you directly elect a president, in parliamentary systems you elect the parliament, and the parliament decides who runs the show. Think of it like electing the whole soccer team, and then the team captain is chosen by the players and not the fans. The big idea: power comes from the people, but it's filtered through parliament. That creates a government that's supposed to be more accountable, because if the prime minister loses the support of parliament, they can be kicked out, sometimes overnight. Parliament is the beating heart of this democracy. It's where laws are debated, budgets are argued over, and governments are made or broken. But don't think of it as just one big room. Most parliaments are split into two houses. The lower house, House of Commons in the UK, Lok Sabha in India, House of Representatives in many countries. This is usually the powerhouse where the government is formed. The upper house, House of Lords in the UK, Rajya Sabha in India, Senate in Canada. Sometimes powerful, sometimes more like a polite suggestion box. This structure is what keeps governments on their toes. The Prime Minister and the Cabinet can't just do what they want. They need the lower house on their side, or they risk a vote of no confidence, which is basically Parliament saying, "You're fired." Let's take the UK, the poster child of parliamentary democracy. In 2019, Boris Johnson became Prime Minister. But he didn't get there because millions of Brits voted directly for him. Nope. He became leader of the Conservative Party, and since that party had the majority in Parliament, boom, he got the top job. Now, here's the kicker: if Johnson had lost the support of his MPs, he could have been thrown out as fast as he was put in. And that's exactly what happened in 2022 when he was forced to resign after losing his party's battle. That's parliamentary democracy in action, ruthless but flexible. Compare that to a US president. Even if unpopular, a president usually sits tight until the next election, unless impeached, which is super rare. Parliamentary systems are like Netflix shows: if you're boring or problematic, you can get cancelled mid-season. Why do so many countries love this system? 3 big reasons. Flexibility. If the government loses trust, it can be replaced without waiting years for the next election. Accountability. The Prime Minister has to answer to Parliament every week. In the UK, there's even a Prime Minister's Questions, a live showdown where MPs grill the leader in front of everyone. Efficiency. If one party controls Parliament, they can pass laws quickly without endless gridlock. Canada's Justin Trudeau, for example, could move legislation faster than a US president fighting with Congress. Sounds great, right? Well, hold up. parliamentary democracy isn't all sunshine and rainbows. Here's the big challenge: it can get messy. Really messy. Too much turnover. Governments can collapse overnight. Italy is famous for this, and they've had more than 60 governments since World War II. That's like changing your phone every year because it keeps glitching. Minority rule. Sometimes, no party gets a majority. So they have to form coalitions. Imagine trying to get 3 roommates to agree on what pizza to order every night. Now make that national policy. Too much power. Ironically, if one party does win a big majority, they can push through anything, even if half the country disagrees. In India, strong parliamentary majorities have sometimes steamrolled opposition voices. So yeah, parliamentary democracy keeps leaders on a short leash, but sometimes the dogfight never ends. Coalitions are the ultimate double-edged sword. On paper, they look great: different parties working together, compromise, shared responsibility. But in practice, coalitions can be unstable marriages. Take Israel. Governments there often rely on coalitions with tiny parties that can pull out anytime, collapsing the whole system. In 2021, Naftali Bennett became prime minister thanks to a fragile coalition. Less than 2 years later, it fell apart. Coalitions keep democracy alive but fragile, like balancing on a tightrope in a storm. Here's something textbooks often miss: parliamentary democracy doesn't look the same everywhere. Culture matters. In Japan, parliamentary democracy is shaped by consensus and politeness. Cabinets change often, but policies remain stable. In India, it's loud, vibrant, and sometimes chaotic, with dozens of parties fighting for attention. In Germany, the memory of dictatorship makes coalition governments more disciplined and cooperative. Same model, different bites. It's like giving 3 chefs the same recipe: one makes sushi, one makes curry, one makes bratwurst. Here's the million-dollar question: in a world of rising authoritarianism, endless polarization, and social media chaos, can parliamentary democracy keep delivering? Critics say it's too fragile, too unstable, too messy for today's fast-moving world. But here's the counterpoint: its flexibility is exactly what makes it survive. Leaders can be swapped without civil wars. Policies can shift with the people. Think of parliamentary democracy as bamboo: it bends, it sways, it even cracks sometimes, but it doesn't snap. And that's why so many countries keep coming back to. So what have we learned? Parliamentary democracy isn't perfect. It can be messy, unstable, and sometimes unfair. But it's also one of the most adaptable systems we've ever built. From the UK to India, Canada to Japan, it keeps finding ways to reinvent itself. At the end of the day, it reflects the people, their divisions, their compromises, their values. And maybe that's what democracy was meant to do all along: not give us perfection, but give us a mirror. If you found this breakdown useful, check out the next video popping up on your screen. It's all about presidential democracy and how it stacks up against the parliamentary model.